You gonna take my black ass here?
Are you my father walking out in the family? Because I did not see that coming.
I can't breathe. I'm runnier than an egg. The logic is on level 0. It's giving what the fuck. Like, worry about your crock pot, Karen. Oh my God, this is not going well. Y'all know that I'm operating off of one brain cell every day, all day, and she's been hanging in there. Why am I sitting lower than my self-esteem? What the hell is scary about Karen? This cover is so unfortunate. I'm still not over it. I'm also going to be making a donation. My final brain cell is going to go to this main character because she clearly needs it. Somebody please date me. You are boring. You are tepid. You are warm water on a hot day. This girl needs to go to a strip club. What up, my channel? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I am going to be reading Booktube's most hated books of 2022. There are already a lot of books that booktubers and booktube watchers have opinions on. And so I did a little survey, went to Goodreads, talked to some booktubers, and found out what the top most hated books of this year were. The first book of this video that I'm going to be starting with is none other than Hide by Kirsten White. Y'all may recognize Hide by that iconic yellow cover and this gorgeous map on the inside. And this is a survival wilderness-y thriller. I've been raving about this book. It was one of my anticipated 5-star thrillers. I'm so excited. I'm obsessed with this map. The jacket is off because I've already started reading it and I just want to preserve that gorgeous cover more than anything. And those of you who watch my channel for a while know that I hate everything. I am a very, very picky reader. It's literally why I have a whole series on my channel dedicated to books that I can't stand. I'm a picky son of a gun. The fact that I have a thriller that I think is going to be amazing, but none of y'all do, it's saying a whole lot.
So what is Hide about?
For those of you who are not in the know, Hide is about a group of 14 folks who are all in different economic situations and are trying to improve their stations in society. And so they are given the chance to win $50,000 if they can hide in a dark, abandoned, decrepit amusement park and stay hidden for a full week. And if they're able to do that, the person who wins gets $50,000 and 2 people a day are eliminated. That premise sounds absolutely amazing. That creepy theme amusement park setting. I mean, absolutely. You have an amazing author who is really well known and has a really great reputation. I mean, what more could one ask for?
A stable home growing up would have been nice.
And so I've already started Hide. I'm on page 52. So far, I do not understand what all of the hate is about. Like, I'm so freaking serious. This book is awesome. The setting, the fact that the author is able to balance all of these complex characters and not make them feel like archetypes. You really believe in every single character's motivation. And yes, they get varying levels of, page time, but you still are able to understand and follow everything that's going on. I love the creepy settings. Already there has been clown horror, there's been spider horror, and our protagonist Mac is somebody that you definitely root for. She's in the foster system. She's bouncing around between shelters, and you definitely really feel for her as a character, not because of her economic situation, but just the way that her character herself is built. She has a really, really dark past. I mean, a really dark past.
I am the night.
And I just absolutely relate on so many different levels. So far, I cannot see at all what y'all's issues are. So let's just keep reading. This is, like I said, the first book that I'm going to be starting with in this video. And I'm already thinking that it's off to a great start.
1 hour later.
Is this your first time fetching at the park? Are you the MVP? You can do this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I tricked you. Okay, go get it. Yeah, go get it, Akasha. Good girl. Okay, now bring it back. Come on. Come on, Akasha. Bring it back. Bring it back. Get a dulce. Get a dulce. Good girl. Good puppy. Should we show them how you can catch? 1, 2, 3. Arapa. Oh, did you catch it? Holy shit, she caught it. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. You take a break. This break is sponsored by Kit Kat. I'm a bad bitch. Da-da-da-da, I'm a savage. Ew, why am I God right now?
I'm sorry. So these people didn't know that they were going to a decrepit amusement park to play this game. I don't care what my financial straits are. If I show up and you take me here, you gonna take my black ass here. I quit. No, not today, Satan, not tomorrow. Slavery is over. Wrap that shit up, put a bow on it, roll it out to sea. Abso-fucking-lutely not. There is no amount of money for you to take me to this quote-unquote amusement park. You can take all your dark clowns, you can take all of your spiders and your... you know what? It's just not for me. Some people are meant to be broke forever, and I guess I'm one of them. So if you've been following me for literally 5 minutes, you know that my first father walked out on the family when I was a kid. And it ended up being a happy ending because 3 amazing men pretty much stepped up to take his place. His older brother ended up adopting me, and life is great. And I have a godfather as well as an amazing stepdad. So honestly, I got the better end of the deal. And a lot of people don't realize how devastating it is. I think that's the most I've ever said on that issue on camera. And it's so easy to talk about now because, you know, thankfully I'm healed from that trauma and now I just make jokes about it. There's a quote in this book that I really want to read because it hit very heavy. And so I wanted to read this quote on camera for any of you who need to hear it. He doesn't love you. He didn't love your mother either. And I don't want you to spend your whole life waiting for something he can't give. Men like that, people are things to them. That's why he can pick you up and drop you as easily. But you're not a thing. You're wonderful. And if he can't see that, he's broken, not you. Don't ever forget it. Akasha agrees. Isn't that so beautiful? So beautiful. So just know, if that quote spoke to you, don't forget. Your parents' inability to love you the way that you deserve has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them.
1 hour later.
Why did this character have to die? Am I about to cry over this? Not tears. And also the way that they died. Are you my father walking out in the family? Because I did not see that coming.
1 hour later.
Not this. What the fuck? This book. This is messed up. This book is messed up. The sun creeps along, as the sun is wont to do. The occasional insect wanders across Mac's legs, as insects are wont to do. Mac does nothing, as Mac is wont to do. Who authorized this? Where was the editor? One of her foster families had a daughter who was into meditation, and she taught Mac. They'd find Mac at all hours, sitting, eyes closed, perfectly still. "I'm pretending I'm dead," she'd say. "I like it." They didn't. They passed her along soon after. Obviously, that's really, really sad, but why is that literally me? Like, I was such a creepy kid. I don't know how I didn't grow up to be Ted Bundy himself. Did anybody else fantasize about being dead as a child, or was that just me? Just depression things. Kind of feels like the story is venturing into homosexual territory between 2 of the female contestants. It might just be me pushing the gay agenda. Okay, because I be pushing that shit like a grocery cart. I don't know why I keep doing this. It's giving shoulder pads. Okay. These people have come up with the most ridiculous plan I have ever heard in any of my lifetimes. And I hope they all die. I really do. I hope they die. And I hope I die too. I am so sick. Ew. Why was I the grudge? Alright, so it's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I finished Hyde. I personally do not understand why everybody hates this book. I really don't understand. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. For most of the book I was sitting at like a 4, but after reading the author's note, and like the ending was like, I was like, okay, the ending wasn't the way I would have done it, but I'm not the author. And so I read the author's note, the ending. I feel like the author wrote the ending that the author needed. And I think that there's something very powerful in that. For those of you who didn't like the ending, I'm curious to know if you would like it after reading the author's note, or if you did, or if that didn't impact your rating at all. For me, it actually bumped the book up. I liked it. I did like it. And I have a feeling I have a feeling that what people didn't like about the book, well, actually, now that I think about it, there's two things that I can postulate people didn't like. One of the things that I think people might not like is that this is a supernatural thriller, but it doesn't really seem like it at the beginning. However, that's not a spoiler because it literally says right on the inside of the book, a high stakes hide and seek competition turns deadly in this dark supernatural thriller. If that's the reason why people are salty about it, you shouldn't be. It literally says so right here. I think the other reason is the ending, and I can't say what about the ending. If I say it, then y'all immediately will know, like, it'll be a spoiler. But the kind of ending that the book is one that I think is not going to satisfy. It looks like I'm wearing that hat in the background. I'm screaming. Sorry, big truck went by. Big truck. Why did I say that? What the fuck? Why did I revert to being 5? The kind of ending that this book is one that I think won't resonate with a lot of thriller readers. And I also thought this was a YA thriller, but this is described as her adult debut. So far, y'all are bugging. All right, so I'm going into this book knowing absolutely nothing because that's just the best way to go into thrillers. The synopsis be giving away the beginning, middle, and end. What I've gathered from the story so far is that it's about a woman who really does not trust other people, and she's an artist, and she ends up moving into the middle of nowhere from the big city, and her boyfriend is kind of pressuring her to make friends. And so she gets sucked into this like group of women that really does not align with her interests. These women are like really pretty, really well liked, really social, that kind of thing. And she's just like an awkward introvert artist who has a hell of a lot of baggage and a whole of a lot of distrust. And these women are kind of pressuring her to go to this trip to Vegas, and she doesn't want to go. And she's like, I'm not going. And it's really early on in the book, and I can tell that this is the plot point, right? Is that she says she's not going to go on the trip, and she gets forced by circumstance to go on the trip. And I know because she gets home, and her boyfriend's like, hey, what's wrong? And she tells him, like, hey, these girls are trying to get me to go on the trip. And he's like, well, I'm going on a trip too, so you should go on the trip with them because then I'll feel more comfortable than with you sitting at home.
What?
What is the logic? The logic is on level 0. It's giving what the fuck. What? You want me to get on a plane with a group of women I do not know, and you're gonna send me across the country because you want me to feel safe? What if I get kidnapped? What if the plane blows up? What if we all get kidnapped? What if these women murder me? What if they're murderers? Some of them are already being hella sketchy. And his whole argument is, okay, well, what if the power goes out and there's a snowstorm? We have wood. We have firewood. I have blankets. There's not a backup heater. Y'all got a generator. It's just like, it's not giving. And I just know this woman who's trying everything in her power not to go is going to be forced to go. And that always pisses me off in books. Like, it pisses me off when a character gets like forced into doing something that they don't want to do, because it could simply never be me. You're not gonna make me come out into the middle of fucking nowhere because I'm too polite to say no. Oh, no. I'll tell you no. I'll tell you no in 9 different languages. I will make a PowerPoint presentation as to why it's not gonna be me, as to why I'm not going. And I just know that she's gonna end up going, and it makes me so mad. That's my update. I have to go drive through traffic. My drive is probably going to be like 45 minutes. So I'm going to be continuing to listen to the audiobook. I'm on chapter like 2 or 3, but I will update you later. What's up, cuties? Today we are continuing with the read of An Honest Life, An Honest Lie, An Honest Cupcake. I don't know what the book is called. It's so standard. Again, it's not a spoiler. She's on the trip. Of course she is. And the way that she got on it, because we were like, she's being very adamant and smart about being like, I don't want to go on this trip. I'm not going. You can't pressure me. And then she finds out that her boyfriend already bought the ticket like behind her back and is pressuring her to go, which makes me really skeptical of the boyfriend. I don't trust him, don't like him. I think he's super disrespectful and also super freaking sketchy. I cannot stand this dude. The thing that I'm questioning about this book, as in wondering if this is the reason why so many of y'all hate it, is that it is very boring. It is very standard. You have this suburban group of women, and the book really extensively looks at the politics. I cannot stand those kind of domestic thrillers where there's like a book club of white suburban women. Well, so-and-so doesn't like her, and this is the person who's secretly sleeping with someone's husband. Like, those kinds of thrillers never interest me. They're so boring, and it always has made me so irritated when people will say that like BIPOC thrillers don't count as thrillers and that they're not scary, and yet, you know, these like domestic, suburban, white, commercially published, well-celebrated thrillers have politics like this in them. And I'm like, what is scary about that? What the hell is scary about Karen? Therefore, thus far, I am bored to absolute tears. But I will say that there is a cult element to the book that I was not expecting. Please explain why someone would move into an abandoned prison and think,
yeah, this is a really chill place to live.
nothing is going to be amiss here. It just couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. There's nothing like wildly offensive or horrible about the book. It's just like every other commercial domestic thriller by a white author that I've ever read. And so if that is the reason, like the fact that it's so run-of-the-mill and boring, if that's the reason everybody hates it, then why don't y'all hate the other books like that are constantly on your top 10 list? It just doesn't make any freaking sense. There's no flavor, there's no spice. It is so vanilla. It is like very predictable. Just everything about the situation is predictable and formulaic. You have a woman with a dark past who gets pressured into hanging out with a group of women and then gets pressured to be alone with this group of women in a secluded location, that situation. That synopsis has been done so many times and it's boring. I'm sick of it. Like, as of right now, it's sitting at a 3-star. What the plan is now is that I'm going to make an omelet and edit some content. And what I've decided to make is an omelet using greens from the garden. I have carrot greens, I have spinach and broccoli that I've all grown myself, and garlic. And so what I'm going to do is make an omelet of chorizo and papas and use those greens, as well as have mozzarella and cheddar cheese. And I'm very, very excited. So I've got everything prepped, and now I'm just going to cook and continue listening to this audiobook and hope that something gets interesting. Hello, welcome to Jessie the Giant. Like, I'm in the middle of putting on my makeup and I already put on my frickin' sunblock for the day. I said it and everything and forgot to put on foundation, and I'm just freaking irritated. So we're already irritated. And these women, like, y'all know that I operate off of one brain cell as it is. And I don't want to hear y'all roast me about how I'm applying my makeup. Y'all know I don't know what I'm doing. Like, if you, oh my God, I just put that in my nostril. If you watched my experiment video where I lived like Chloe from Books with Chloe for a whole week, you will already know that I cannot apply makeup and that I don't know what I'm doing. So if you haven't seen that, this is your plug to go and watch it, because not to brag, but Chloe did say it was one of her favorite videos of all time. So just saying, go watch it. Y'all know that I'm operating off of one brain cell every day, all day. And she's been hanging in there. She's been trucking along. She's been doing her freaking best. But these women are killing her. These women are like pushing her. Oh, hi, Akasha. Hello. Can you say one brain cell? Brain cell? Yeah, who's a good girl? Who's got one brain cell? Yeah, well, she's got 2 brain cells. Between the 2 of us, we're sharing that single brain cell. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? And who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? And who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Yeah, who's a good girl? She's so cute. By the way, that is an actual song I sing with her daily. There's a dance and everything that goes along with it because I'm really trying to make sure that I die alone. But any fucking way, how do you just... The point is, these women are killing that last brain cell, and she's been doing her best because they are so juvenile, they are so immature, and also these women are the epitome of mind your business. Like, they are trying to get involved in someone else's marriage. Mind your business. Did you take the vow? No. Mind your business. Worry about your own marriage. Like, worry about your crock pot, Karen.
It just couldn't be me.
I'm trying to imagine having such a comfortable life and so much money that I have the time and the energy to worry about what someone else is doing in their marriage that does not concern me, when they haven't asked me for help, when no one's in danger. I can't. I'm trying to imagine having the time, energy, and patience to meddle in someone else's affairs. The affairs of a whole other adult, like a whole capable ass woman. I fucking cannot. I hate what's going on in the present. I don't care. Her boyfriend is trash. She's being pushed into situations that I can't stand. And a part of the reason why I hate these kinds of books is because it literally triggers me, like real talk, straight up, no joke. It literally triggers me watching women be pressured into doing things they don't want to do. Even if it's not like sexual related or like violence related or anything like that, it's just triggering for me. And that is the cornerstone of so many of these kinds of thrillers. And so I just don't vibe with them. I've said this before, but it's also a cultural thing because like being Black and Mexican, that shit, not that like Black and Mexican people can't be pressured to do things. Within our culture, we're not passive. We're not like, you can't guilt us into doing things. If I don't want to do something, I'm gonna flat out tell you like, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't like that. If you say something that I feel disrespected by, I'm gonna tell you right now immediately and be like, hey, I don't like that. Cut that shit out. Full stop. Take a seat, sit down, get out of my face. And it took me a really, 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 really long time to get into a space where I was comfortable asserting myself and my boundaries. Because growing up, I was the only person in my family who couldn't do that. Like, I was the shy one. I was the introverted one. I was the one who was really polite and didn't want to make waves. And because of that, I was like the comfortable Black kid to pick on. And so I had a lot of like racist kids, like both anti-Black and anti-Mexican growing up, and also teachers feeling that they could come to me and say the most racist, outlandish shit because they knew I was the Black kid that was gonna take it. You know what I mean? And so now that I finally am in a space where I'm like, yeah, I'm not fucking doing that anymore, it's just really, really, really frustrating to watch characters. Can't do it. I just can't do it. And so everybody's getting on my nerves at this point. And the only thing that I care about, so I have 2 moles on here. I actually want to get it tattooed. There's one here and this one here on my lip, and they're super light, so I always darken them. So we're gonna stop talking and try and... Wow, this is way too close and personal. I can't do this on camera. Hold on. Cute.
Where is it going?
I don't fucking remember.
Oh, the only thing that I care about in regards to this book is the cult storyline and the flashbacks. Also, in case you're wondering, today we're going in with my chapstick, the Sunblock chapstick in 8-Hour Moisture SPF 15. Cute. And then I top it with my Fenty Beauty. Fucking focus, bitch. Focus! See, fuck it. I'm not gonna make you do what you don't want to do. This is the Latte Lips Pro Kisser Luscious Lip Balm. I use this every day. Like, it is expensive, but honestly, oh God. Accidentally activated my jacuzzi. My bad. The only thing I care about is the flashbacks in the past. Like, it's the only thing I care about. The cult storyline is so cool. Although the cult storyline is giving me so much freaking anxiety because, again, even though I do enjoy thrillers and movie books that center cult, and a part of the reason that I do enjoy those is because I know that my dumbass would be absolutely susceptible to joining a cult. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not even gonna front, because I am an agreeable person by nature, and I am a person that is way too fucking trusting. My dumb ass would end up in a cult. I would be the only black motherfucker in that cult, okay? And it would be embarrassing. I would be the best cult member ever. I would be clapping, singing, dancing. It would be fine. The thing that's difficult for me about that storyline is it's giving me so much anxiety because of the sexual violence that girls and women in particular face in cults. And so, like, every page I'm just like I have that gross gut feeling. All that being said, despite the fact that I'm bitching a lot, my enjoyment of the present situation is a 2-star, maybe even a 1. But the enjoyment of what's happening with the cult is like a 4.5. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be my update. I only have like a couple hours left. I'm not gonna make you try and watch. No, I'll talk to you later.
1 hour later.
My brain cells are dying. Her boyfriend deserves the electric chair. Why are these women the epitome of, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for the... Okay, yo, so this is gonna be the last update before I finalize this video. What am I even saying? I have like 20 minutes left, and I have to tell you, I thought that this book was formulaic. I thought that I knew what was going on. The things that have happened, first of all, like, I have lost every single ounce of self-respect for this main character. She's going on my most hated protagonist of all times. And it's not because she did anything bad or offensive. She's trying way too hard to be a good person. Sweetheart, not all of us were meant to be good. Sometimes you just gotta be a bad person. I've never been so offended that someone did something good for someone else. I'm offended. I'm personally offended. I'm also offended by this loud ass airplane that sounds like it's about to land in my living room. Why is Air Force One here? This book is wild. I'm also going to be making a donation. My final brain cell is going to go to this main character because she clearly needs it. Honestly, do not see why it was so loathed. Finished it. I'm sitting at like a 3.754 star. That moment when you find out that a character is alive that you thought was dead, and this is not a spoiler because literally everybody died at the end of Black Sun. I can't breathe. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, you guys. Sweating, deodorant is running. I'm runnier than an egg. Please ignore the fact that I'm in my underwear. It is 90 degrees and it is like, what is it? It's like 9 a.m.
And it's already 90 degrees.
You get to see unclothed Jessie. I'm sorry about what this is doing to your eyes. I'm in love. I've been struck by Cupid's arrow. Going to update to say that I can guess at one of the things that are irritating people about this book, and I'm going to guess that it is the inclusion of dream magic, because a lot of people on BookTube don't like the incorporation of dreams in their books. And obviously we all have our own reading tastes, we all have tropes we like, things we don't like, etc. But I've seen a lot of people be like, oh my god, like I can't stand that there's dream sequences in this book, like I don't want to read a DNF situation. And like, if that's you, like that's cool. And so I'm not saying that that's necessarily problematic, but there is something that about this that does irritate me when this happens, and it's the fact that there's something very anti-Indigenous about that. There's something also very anti-Latin about that. There's something very anti-Black about it. So like, being Afro-Latin myself, dreams and dream spirituality is a very, very big component of our culture and of our spiritual identities. And it is also very, very important to certain Indigenous cultures. And so the kind of like, yes, I can see why someone wouldn't enjoy a dream sequence, but I feel like there needs to be more nuance to that conversation to also say like, hey, dream sequences are actually very, very important to a lot of BIPOC cultures and in BIPOC storytelling. And so to inherently like be against them, it does make me uncomfortable. But on the same time, I do get like personal preference. And so I don't really have anything profound to say about that. I'm not gonna go into a discussion on it. I'm just gonna say that you know, I'm not even going to critique you if you're one of those people who like doesn't like it, but I will say that like that is a really big component in the book that I'm writing, and it is reflective of Afro-Latin spirituality, and it is really important to be mindful and like respectful of those things whenever you're reading Indigenous work, Afro-Latin work, etc. So I'm wondering if that is where some of like the critiques are coming from, if some of those critiques are actually rooted in like anti-indigeneity. But y'all know that I'm an overthinker, so all of that being said, I'm obsessed with the dream magic. I'm obsessed with like the shadow world and the dream walking and all of that. It is so bloody and gruesome and visceral, and you can use someone's dreams to like plant suggestions in their mind. It's definitely like Inception. Of course, I'm not saying that she got this idea from Inception. I'm not saying that at all, but it's just really freaking cool, and it's so well done, and it's so cool, and I love her writing. I love the way Rebecca Roanhorse writes. I always have, I always will. It is so visceral. You feel like you're there. You feel like you're in the book, and I'm utterly and totally obsessed. Like, I'm utterly and totally obsessed already. My expectations for this book are so high. Like, it's one of my most anticipated books of the year, like easily in my top 10. I didn't release a formal list, just like I didn't last year, but I do keep the list on my computer, and I'm just so excited. So far, I don't see why everybody's hating it, but I'm pretty early on in the book. I just like had to come on and get my preliminary thoughts out because holy shit. The book starts out with action. Like, people are already dying. It is so intense, and you're just right back in there. Like, I'm sucked right back into this world. I'm ready to see these characters interact. I'm ready for all the gruesomeness. I'm ready for these battles. I'm ready for all this magic. Serapio is doing the damn thing. Like, that is my god. That is my dude. That is my homie. Serapio can do no wrong. And everyone is saying that he's made some really questionable choices in this book, and I already don't care. Like, I'm rooting for my boy Serapio. We love a vulnerable god. We love a god that has some nuance, and like that's one of my favorite tropes in literature and fantasy is a human character having to be a vessel for a god or for a spirit. Oh, it's so good, you guys. Like, it's so freaking good.
1 hour later.
I will say Nara Narampa is more interesting in this book than she was in book 1. I'm telling you, I did not care about that girl's storyline. I don't care about your priesthood. I don't care about your personality. I don't care about the coup. I don't care about none of that. You are boring. You are tepid. You are warm water on a hot day. Like, I'm not here for it. But in this, but also, why am I holding this book like a baby? Like, who is this?
What is happening?
That's because this book is my baby, and anybody who doesn't like this book doesn't like me. Like, it's gonna be on site, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god, I'm so obsessed. Can you guys tell I'm literally having I am so obsessed with this book already, and I'm not even that far into it. But the fact that even Nara is of interest now, and it's because of the events that happened at the end of book 1 and the situation that she was put into, and now because of that situation she's more interesting, and it's, oh my god, why I hate when maps are more attractive than me. Like, oh my god, this is so gorgeous. This is so gorgeous. The map on the back. Oh my god. It's giving smother me. Yes. Mentally, I'm here. And look at Rebecca. What a green bean. She's so pretty and talented. I love her so much, you guys. Y'all are doing this book a disservice. I don't know what you're talking about.
1 hour later.
Coming back to update just to say I love Serapio. Long may he reign.
Was it, babes? I feel like I've never read a book faster in my life because I'm just so far into this freaking book. Like, I'm already well over halfway done, but I wanted to come on and talk. Okay, why am I so low? Why am I sitting lower than my self-esteem? Damn, my working out has been like paying off. Look at that shit. Sorry, I'm gonna have a dating application down below if somebody please date me. So I wanted to come on and talk about something else about the magic that I'm just obsessed with. Like, obviously the dream and the shadow magic is top tier, and also what Serapio is doing with his magic and how good he's getting with it. Like, the fact that he can literally turn into crows, and he can like turn parts of his body into crows. It's just so cool. Like, everybody's getting so much more powerful. The stakes are higher. It's getting more grandiose. Like, oh my god, not another airplane. Fly like an eagle. in the sea. Fly like an eagle, that's all of the song I know. So there are 8 magics. Each had an opposing magic along the wheel. Spirit in contrast to blood, fire to water, stone to sky, and the one that most interested her, sun to shadow. The map linked the sun's power to the firebird and to life. In opposition, the shadow was represented by the crow and death. How fucking sick is that? Are you unwell? Because this is sick. Also, I have to say that Shiala, this girl needs to go to a strip club. She is so freaking thirsty for Serapio. Like, somebody just needs to give her a stack of bills. Like, I promise you, girl, I promise you, sweetheart, once you make it rain, everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna make it through this. This poor girl is distraught over Serapio, and honestly, same. It's getting to the point though where I'm like, sweetheart, we get it. You really enjoyed that bath. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. I don't know if I just missed this in book 1 or if it just really hasn't been revealed until book 2. Shiala's character, my understanding of it was that she was way more ruthless than she actually is. She is actually a big softie. And I don't know how I didn't pick up on that on book 1, or if it just like, you know, really wasn't talked about so much until now, that she's so much more of a vulnerable character than I was anticipating. She has so much more trauma than I was aware of. Those things are really big motivations for her. It's really interesting seeing that character through a new light, because my understanding of her character was like, she loved to fight, she was a brawler, she was hardcore, she was defensive, she enjoyed those things. She enjoyed kind of like going out and hooking up and being wild and being free. And I'm realizing more that what really drives her is the desire for home, a sense of safety, that she doesn't do these things for the hell of it, for the fun of it. She does them out of necessity. This cover is so unfortunate. I'm still not over it. Okay, babes, that's gonna do it for this update. So far, I think y'all are bugging. This book is even better than Black Sun. Fight me.
1 hour later.
Since this is a multi-POV fantasy, every chapter will start with a saying, and the saying will correspond to the culture that the person, oh my God, this is not going well. Because this is a multi-POV fantasy, every chapter will start with a saying, and that saying will come from whatever culture that the main character...
Oh my fucking God.
Shiala is from Teak, and so on Shiala's chapter, Shiala is Teak, and so chapters where Shiala... Okay, it doesn't matter. The point is, the Teak sayings, everyone else's sayings are fantastic, but then the Teak sayings will make absolutely no sense, or they'll just be like, yeah, I feel like that's really fucking obvious. So for example, even a shark must sleep, which, okay, but also like, do sharks sleep? Because I thought that they didn't. Do sharks sleep? Alexa, which is in contrast to beware the faithless from whom duty is but an inconvenience. Better a single zealot than 1,000 pragmatists who believe in nothing. That's from the Hokkaido War College. Obviously, that's a lot better. And then you go back to the Teak sayings. This one freaking killed me. Beware the woman who would drown her own daughters. Yeah, you probably should.
Like, what?
All right, kids, it is time to start the Book of Night.
What's up, y'all? We are starting the Book of Night by Holly Black. Finally revealed on Instagram what we're doing for this vlog, and once we revealed that this was the book we were reading, we cannot explain how many comments we got from y'all being like, ooh, oh no, good luck, yikes. My thoughts and prayers. So, okay, this might be the book. This might be our 1 star. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. What's up, cuties? What's up? It's a beautiful day and we're about to do some cooking. Ignore just the mess because this is representative of my life. I went to a friend's birthday event recently and he had it catered by Chipotle and he had a shit ton of food left over and sent me with a bunch of chipotle. So we're gonna be making like a mix mash burrito situation. So we've got some rice here, we have some steak and a little bit of cheese, and then their Diablo salsa, we've got some chopped garlic, and then my Gouda cheese, my eggs, and then I'm gonna be using one of my spinach tomato wraps and going to get some kale from the garden. I'm feeling pretty good about this, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling good. This whole situation looks promising. I'm listening to an audiobook, we're riding, we're thriving, made some reels, edited a video. Who are they? Jesse actually being productive? Who would have thought? This, my friends, is what happens when you take your meds, so take your meds. Last night, after you fell asleep, I couldn't stop looking at the swell of your cheek, the snarl of your dark hair, the chipped black nail polish on your toes, curled up against whatever dream you were having, the way you pulled loose the bottom sheet with the violence of sleeping. I looked at you and had a feeling so intense that it made me dizzy and a little sick. His gaze was on the silvery grass of the lawn. It's no good to feel that way. Hello, 911? Yeah, you need to come get this motherfucker. I'm not about to end up on Dateline. Come get him. Somebody come get him. He's planning my murder. Okay, so I'm on page 145. When I tell you that this is the most bland, salt, water, ass book that I have ever read in my life, it's not that the book is bad. It just leaves absolutely no taste in your mouth.
It's like drinking water. I am so bored.
This is the most boring book that I have read by far for this video, and it should be the most interesting because we are following a con man. She is a thief. She steals from magicians. She has a really dark and sordid past. She's rough around the edges. She is a bartender, and she really is just trying to get by, trying to leave that dark past behind her, but it keeps coming after her, that sort of thing. She's got a really sketchy boyfriend who doesn't have a shadow. She has a sister who's very hungry for magic and for power. In theory, this world is so freaking cool, right? Because there are what are called glomists, who are magicians who can use their shadows and manipulate their shadows in order to kill people. And the shadow magic itself is really intricate and detailed, and so like that's kind of the magic of the world is about shadows. Like shadows themselves are even more dangerous, even more to be feared than they are in our world, and I think that that's really cool. Shadows already are very unsettling as a concept, and so to make that magic, to make that even more menacing, is so creative, and I love that. Like, I love books about shadows and shadow magic, and this is another one of those books that's about books. In theory, it's checking all of the boxes, right? But this book is all telling and not showing. I shit you not. On page 145, right, we have seen shadow magic actually used 2 times, maybe 3 times. Everything else that we have learned about the Glomists and their lore and all of that is from lengthy exposition,
paragraphs of freaking text telling you about this magic, and it is so cool, but I'm so tired of being told about it. I want to see it. I want to see it in action. The world building and the atmosphere itself is really cool, but the writing just doesn't sell it. I'm telling you, I could put this book down, legitimately, I could put this book down tomorrow and never, ever, ever think about it ever again. That is not an exaggeration. That is how little of an impression this book is leaving on me. I will say that the character of Charlie is really well done. She isn't just like one of those archetypes. I do appreciate the feminist commentary surrounding what it means to be a girl whose body develops sooner than other girls and how that changes the way adults treat you as well as your peers. Actually quite funny because I have a lot of thoughts. I've been annotating the crap out of this book, but it's just like I don't have much to update because I am so bored. Like I'm fighting to keep myself from skimming because this book is so boring.
However,
as of right now, it's definitely a 1 star because I could not fucking care less. But is it as bad as everybody's saying? I'm not getting that at all. I'm not getting that at all. So I'm excited to keep going and see what exactly about this book has offended the crap out of so many of you. Yeah, it was pretty bad. This was an all-around mediocre book. It's astoundingly mediocre. And I'm giving it a 1 star. The fact that I have so little to say about this book just shows how fucking bad it is, because you know that I always got something to say. All I can say is that I'm so glad that it's over. So I annotated the shit out of this book, and I'm going to be putting it up in my Pango, my little used bookstore, in case any of you are interested in buying my annotated copy, because I do not want this on my shelves. Warning though, fair warning, all of my annotations, and there are a lot of them, are very, very bitchy and sarcastic. So if you would like to read 300 pages of my absolute salt, then feel free to snag this from my Pango. We finally did it, y'all. This is our 1 star book of the video. Now let's rank the 4 books that I read for this video. I really do think that y'all are absolutely insane for the way that you are treating Hyde and Black Sun. Black Sun especially. Okay, I think that you guys are absolutely off of your freaking rockers. Honest Lie was just typical mediocrity. It was aight. And then Book of Night is just... The Book of Night could have just been left alone as a dream that the author had, and maybe she should have just gone back to the drawing board, that situation. I wanted to squeeze in Riley Sager's new book for this video, but the video is already long enough, so I'm going to be continuing this series, and that book is the next one that we are going to be focusing on for this series. Overall though, like I had 2 5-star reads for this video, which is insane. Like I said at the start of this video, you know that I'm known for not liking anything, and so apparently what I need to do is start reading books that y'all hate, because apparently books that booktubers hate is my brand. Who would have thought? So if you want to help me out for the next video in the series, comment down below with books, especially if you are a booktuber yourself, comment down below with a book that you really, really hated this year. It has to be a 2022 release. And for those of you who are viewers, are there any books that you have noticed that booktubers as a whole seem to really hate that came out this year? If you made it all the way through this video, why don't you leave a thumbs down emoji? Because this is all about books that we aren't supposed to enjoy, even though I enjoyed 2 out of the 4 of them. I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming, you guys. The Book of Night is going to be up in my Pango, which is going to be linked in the bottom of my description, like way at the bottom. And I have other books for sale up in that shop too. And if you use the code bowties5, you can get $5 off your first order. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this hour of pure chaos, and I can't wait to see you in my next one.